this is being recorded now. So by the way, the recordings are starting to show up on my YouTube account called Healing the Heart of America, or you could go to my website, healingtheheartofamerica.org, and on the archive tabs, all my old meditations are there, and these are starting to show up. It took a few days to get my guy going. So good morning. This is the Healing the Heart of America course in the meditation studio of I Am Heart. And I'm Stephen Wynn. Today is May 7th. It's the end of our first week. And thank you to everyone who's been here all this time. So what we'll do today is, as every day, we'll go deeply within our hearts. And from this place of our heart, just by asking questions, we'll end up pulling up energies, wounds, traumas that really want to be healed, want to be transformed. And in this process, we heal ourselves. And we talk a lot about self-healing in this particular course. Our perspective is that what happens is we start out with a spiritual wound. It grows and expands and becomes an emotional wound, an energetic wound. And then it shows up as a physical ailment. So we can address it at any one level. Obviously, the deeper we go, the more profound the effect is. So that's how we're doing this self-healing here. We use a lot of breath and heart in that process. So, and what we'll also be doing is working on healing the heart of America. The wounds that we have in our heart are really there in the heart of America. So that alone does a lot. But we'll pick a topic every week, every day. I just picked poverty in America or in your own country, wherever you're from. And we'll just work on that as a way of really service. And it's like doing community service. You get a wonderful feeling from it and you grow in the process. So let's start with sitting up straight, as erect as we can be, and always just to be comfortable, never to be struggling, because struggling is the antithesis of the heart. The heart allows, the heart loves, the heart includes everything. So if you get tired, lean back. And over time, your posture will straighten up. You might want to pull your shoulders back, try it a little bit like this, allow your head to elongate, something like that, whatever allows you to get that deep, settled alignment. And from there, let's put our hands on our heart. Whew. And just say good morning, good evening to our hearts, wherever we are. And I've been doing this a little bit later in the class, in the meditation, but let's just do it right now. With our hands on our heart, just letting this posture do its work. Let's just connect to any of the great teachers in our lives, the great beings, the cosmic beings, or even if it's a grandmother or grandfather or uncle or an aunt or a school teacher, whoever has had a profound influence on us in terms of our spiritual growth. And just thank them for being there. And what we want to do is connect these beings who have our back, so to speak. Connect these beings through our heart out into our world. I Am Heart, which is a spiritual school dedicated to creating the culture of the heart in America and the world, draws most of its inspiration from Hazrat Inayat Khan, great Sufi master that brought in universal Sufism. His son, Pir Vilayat Khan, was Puran and Susanna's teachers. And he said to them, leave this school. It's really quite amazing because Puran was really the big rainmaker in that school. And he said to Puran, leave this school. You and Susanna, go start a school of meditation that will last for 700 years. But don't make it a Sufi school, because Sufism and Islam are going to be getting a bad name in the future, which of course Islam certainly has that in America right now. But Puran read, Puran and Susanna both, really Susanna pushed the heart, but Puran was right there. Reread Hazrat Inayat Khan's message and found where he said that in the future, the heart will be the doorway to spiritual growth. And that's how this school has been developed and born. And in honor of that lineage here, lead us in Hazrat Inayat Khan's wonderful invocation toward the One, perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of one heart, the spirit of guidance. And just sit for one more minute or so with our hands on our heart, recognizing and allowing ourselves to be grateful for these divine qualities of love, harmony, beauty, for the spirit of guidance directs our lives, the lives of all creation. For all the illuminated souls collectively form the universal heart. All these illuminated souls from every tradition. And just thank your heart and let your hands down when you're ready. And now let's just notice our breath. How are we doing today with our breath? How fully are we breathing in? How fully are we exhaling? Is the inhale longer than the exhale, or vice versa? Or even? Ultimately, we're looking for even. And the same with the openness of our nostrils. Is one nostril more open than the other? I think I mentioned the other day, in India they say, until you've trained yourself, until you've explored your breath, really the only time that your nostrils are equal and balanced is at sunrise and sunset. The exact moment there. And we all know that there's something special about sunrise and sunsets. Would it be okay with us if we lived in a space of perpetual sunrise or sunset? Could we just allow that? Just say yes to it. And no matter what we're experiencing with our breath, we just be with it. It's a way of loving it. Now let's move into the second preparatory practice called the full breath, where we move into a full exhale by pulling our abdominal muscles all the way back towards our spine, pressing all that air out of our diaphragm, through the diaphragm. And then just open up and allow this beautiful, stately, comfortable inhale. Full inhale, full exhale. Now just notice what happens to your system, your body, your mind, your emotions, your heart, when we flush our bodies with life force through this full breath. What's your inner experience? Could you allow yourself to be grateful for what our lungs are capable of doing to ourselves, for ourselves? Heart and breath, heart and breath. And now let's move into the formal part of heart rhythm meditation, where we connect the rhythm of our breathing, the rhythm of our hearts. Just inhale to the count of 8 heartbeats, or whatever number is right for you, and exhale to the exact same number. Could be 6, could be 10, doesn't matter. And if you can't feel your heart beat, that's okay. Just feel your pulse, perhaps, or simply count. And it won't take that long, if you're consistent with your meditation practice, for you to start developing that inner sensitivity to experience your heartbeat. And what happens as we move into this rhythm, the heartbeat connected to the rhythm of the breath, we start to move into alignment with the rhythm of life. I don't think I've told the story in this class yet, so I'll just tell it. But there's a third rhythm in the body. Many rhythms, actually. But there's a third pulse, so to speak, another pulse. And that is the pulsing of the cerebral spinal fluid going up and down the spine into the brain, causing a washing of the brain and the spine. I'd gone off to, it was an IMU residency, done a lot of breathing exercises. I came back and I had a cranial sacral session with a licensed therapist in it. They hold your head and they feel these things, really to make the plates in your head move around. But this woman, after a few minutes, said to me, I can't believe what's happening here. The rhythm of your heartbeat and the rhythm of your breath and the rhythm of your cerebral spinal fluid are all pulsing in harmony. It's a very subtle experience. I finally got to feel it. Feels more like sort of a gentle surge. It's a very slow pulsing cerebral spinal fluid, but just know that as you do heart rhythm meditation, this third rhythm moves into alignment, and really every rhythm in our being starts to entrain, starts to join with this basic rhythm. The heart is the electromagnetic center. It's the energy center of our bodies, the center point. When it ties into other rhythms, all the other rhythms move along with it. So to briefly review the week, and next week, by the way, we'll work with the 5 elements. This week we've been working with the dimensions of the heart. We started with simple directed breath, where we just breathe directly into the heart. The air goes in through the lungs into the nose, but the energy just goes in through the heart and then comes back out. All to this count of, 8 heartbeats, whatever your rhythm is. And then just let it go through. Finish it with the swinging breath, exhaling out to the heart, to the space behind us. Inhaling from the back into the heart. And we just play with this rhythm going back and forth. In from the front, out to the back. In from the back, out to the front. It's called the swinging breath. And it works with the forward and backward dimensions of the heart. It expands the presence of the heart forward out to the far reaches of creation. Backward to the unmanifest, invisible realm of the universal heart. And then we worked on the width of the heart, where we inhale from the left into our heart like a directed breath. Fill our heart up. Exhale out to the right. Just follow that breathing pattern now. Inhale. Go out as far as you can. Stretch the heart out as far as is comfortable. It's okay to use the imagination in the beginning. Fill up our hearts, still keeping the same rhythm. Exhaling out far to the right. And let's do that one more time. Inhaling this receptive side in from the left. Exhaling the expressive side of our lives. All the way far out to the horizon, as far as you can go. We always want receiving to be equal to giving in our lives. We're free to receive, we're free to give. And in that, we live in this incredible flow in our lives. And from here, Then we went to the vertical dimension of our heart. So what I'm going to suggest is that we inhale into our heart, we exhale down through our legs, through our torso, down into the earth, experiencing the depth of our heart. And we move up, fill up our heart, exhale as we go up, filling up to the heavens above. Then inhale back down through the crown. And we've been exploring the height of the heart there. It's just a fresh reminder. And just go down again, exhaling down into the earth, into the far depths of creation. Inhale back up, keeping that same heartbeat rhythm, heart rhythm meditation. Exhale up to the heavens, to the celestial realms above. Inhale back down, bringing that quality of the celestial realms back down to the very depths of creation. And now just sort of check yourself. It's a very quick review, I know, but just see yourself as an expanded spiritual being, a little bit more free to the left and to the right than we were before, a little bit more free forward and backward, a little bit more free above and below. And is it okay with us if we allow our energetic body to expand completely to fill creation? And if you get a no, don't worry about it. It just means you're not ready yet. It'll come very soon. In fact, we'll work on it more this morning. Because where we're going to be going is the inner dimension of the heart. This is the seventh dimension. Where we're going to do it, the way we're going to do it, is first we're going to invoke another rhythm called the square breath, sometimes called the diamond breath. And it's a very powerful rhythm. Very powerful rhythm. What it involves, I think we'll just start with 6 inhales, 6 heartbeats on the inhale. We hold it for twice as long. We'll hold it for 12. And we'll exhale for 6 heartbeats. Of course, if you have experience with this, go with whatever rhythm is right for you. And I'll do this just to refresh people that may not be so familiar with it. The other part of this is, if you have an irregular heartbeat, some problem with your heart, either don't do this at all or just be very, very careful. Some people use it and it heals the thing. There's some evidence, some research out there suggesting that holding your holding your breath with an irregular heartbeat is not useful. But again, other people heal themselves of it, doing just that. So your decision, your body, be very, very gentle for everyone. So let's just start. I'll just count us through 2 cycles of this till everybody gets the pattern. So let's just exhale first, full exhale, then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 1 round, and I'll lead you in another one in just a second. So when you inhale, don't fill up your lungs all the way. Fill up to about 75, 80%. You can actually hold your breath more easily if you do that. And if ever you need to breathe, you just stop and breathe. This is not about torturing ourselves or forcing anything. All right, let's do it again, starting with an exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now just continue at whatever pace is right for you. I assure you, because people always have a tendency to want to hold longer, and that's fine. That's actually a good thing. But far more important is the rhythm than a longer hold. It's the rhythm that governs here. So let's just continue at our own pace for 2 or 3 minutes. Do one more round. So just finish up the round you've been on. And take a moment and just notice your experience from doing this. How does it differ from your experience of doing just straightforward heart rhythm meditation? What's your level of quietness now, of peace? What's your sense of alignment? What's your sense of capacity to give, to love, to serve? What's your capacity to receive? So now let's begin the process of experiencing, of moving into this inner dimension of the heart. In the Sufi world, they speak of this inner dimension. It's almost like you have the heart and the solar plexus, and somewhere in there is an inverted space, sort of like, think of like an hourglass, so to speak. And that at some point we hit the point of our most finite aspect, the smallest part of ourselves. And then inside of that, beneath that, is this vast inverted space that is sort of a mirror image. In the Vedic tradition, they describe this as being something between the heart and the solar plexus. You have a name for it. It's a different chakra of the heart. It's not the heart chakra. So let's just first set the intention that it's okay for us to move into this inner dimension of our heart, this vast inner dimension. And is it okay for us if it's easy and natural for us to move in there? And if some doubts come up with that statement, fantastic. Just love whatever shows up. It's coming up to protect you, to spare you embarrassment or whatever sense of failure. It's okay. There is no failure here. There's only the process of moving deeper within ourselves. And however deeply we go is perfect. So could we allow this process of exploring this inverted space, this inner dimension of our heart, could we allow this process to be fun and easy, filled with small steps of progress and occasional massive shifts? That's what we're looking for, this attitude. It's okay, whatever happens here. So you might just start by allowing your attention to go inward and allowing it to go deeper, deeper into your heart. And in this process, we want to let go of controlling our breathing, because we want to move into this state where we have a relationship with the rhythm of the cosmic breath. So just imagine, if you will, for a moment, that the universe is slightly expanding and contracting every 6 seconds or something like that, whatever the 10 seconds the cycle of our breath is. And when the universe expands, actually what happens is our lungs fill up. The universe contracts and all the air comes out. Actually, I got that backwards. When the universe contracts, our lungs expand out, the air goes out. The universe contracts, our lungs fill up with air. It doesn't matter, just in and out. And is it okay if we let go of our breathing practice altogether? Simply allow ourselves to be breathed by the universe. There's nothing to do there, it's just an allowing. And is it okay with us if our inner dimension opens up? And we're not looking for a wow kazam experience here. That can happen. But most of the time, it's just a subtle shift of perception, outward to inward, sort of in that heart solar plexus vicinity of the body. Some of us will find it below the solar plexus. Would you allow yourself to be open to the vastness of your interior beingness? Vastness of your heart. And don't worry if not much is happening. This is just a process. And if the more you do it, the more you begin to notice. And again, is it okay with us if we begin to notice and recognize and allow this vast inner dimension within us to open up? We all know that the saints and masters, teachers, prophets of every tradition speak of our vast inner nature, our vast spiritual nature. Can you allow yourself to see it as your birthright, to be connected to this vast inner dimension? It's in this deep inner dimension where we become friends with the great divine qualities of our heart. Just again, just gently allow your attention to move into your heart, solar plexus, or even the lower region below the solar plexus, and allow this vast open space to open up within you. What happens is we go to the very threshold of relative life, of manifest life, and there's almost a gap between the manifest and the unmanifest. And we're just allowing ourselves to slip through that and move into this vast internal space. By going through this process, and again, you may just be getting flavors of it, and that is perfect. You may be utterly bored, and that is perfect. Just be with whatever comes up. You may be just noticing some subtle sort of spaciousness. Maybe there's a soft warmth there, however it shows up for you. In this process of going into this, we actually not greet not just the divine qualities of our heart, we meet and greet the five elements, which, as you'll see next week, have an extraordinary influence in our life. It's okay to move into your inner space. It's okay to be a fully spiritual being, even while we are fully material human beings. Our human self is a reflection of our divine self. And wherever we got to with that, could you just thank your nervous system? Thank your body intelligence. Thank your heart. Every part of this body that cooperated in terms of opening up to allowing us to, even if it's just draw nearer to that inner space, just thank that part of yourself. And from this very deep space that we're in, is it okay if we use this spiritual stature that we sort of dipped into? It's sort of like we walked into a perfume factory and we come out fragrant. We've dipped into the universal heart substance and come out. Would it be okay with us if we address the issue of poverty from this place? And the good news is that poverty was actually declining. I'll just speak of America. Use your own country, of course. Poverty was actually declining over the last 5 or 10 years in America till we hit COVID. Suddenly, all these people are out of work. Homelessness has risen up. Would it be okay with you if you look at the poor in our nation? Those who are food insufficient, food insecure, who may or may not have a place to live, or who may be working but at such a low rate they can't afford rent and food and utilities and clothes and medical care. Could we just look at them as a class of people of every race, of every ethnic background, and pull them into our hearts? Just breathe them in and hold them with love. As Jesus said, the poor will always be with us. It's always going to be part of our experience that there are poor people in our countries. Check to see if you have any sense of wanting to be separate from those who are living in poverty. If there's any sense of wanting to be separate, could you just welcome up that feeling? Be with it. These wounds are not the enemy. The wounds of our hearts are our friends, but we treat them like they are our energies, our enemies. Check to see if you are living in fear of being in poverty. And if you are, could you welcome that up? It's your friend. It's your child. That energy wants to be heard. Could you have compassion for that feeling? Being suppressed all this time and now finally free to come up. I almost want to apologize and say, I'm so sorry I've been suppressing you. I guess I am sorry. Could we shift our whole sense of all this suppressed energy as being something we don't want to where we welcome it and love it for the gifts that it brings to us? And can we look upon this whole class of impoverished people, 10, 15% of our population, could we breathe them in, feel the love within them, and breathe out our love to them? Could we allow the impoverished part of our culture to be an honored and important part of our culture? It's very, very common for people in poverty to move themselves out of poverty. They get job training, they get an education, they do this, they do that. Could we just feel in our heart compassion for the poor? And check to see if you have any judgment about poor people. Most common one is they should work harder. They should get a job. And whether that's true or not, notice how you feel when you make that judgment. Notice how your own energy shuts down and how we disconnect from the poor when we make a judgment like that. I'm better than you. I know how to work. I have a skill. And could you let that go? Could you let that shift into compassion? I'm imagining, but I think it's true. Most of the truly poor had very poor educations, probably difficult home lives when they're growing up. And rather than judgment, what will help them the most is love, acceptance, the recognition that they are part of us. So could we just allow our hearts to open up again? Fill this class of people with love and compassion. Just say yes to them. Yes, I would like to be your friend. Yes, I am holding you in my heart. Only you with the space for abundance to show up and bless you. And of course, we welcome everyone to do whatever they wish to on the surface of life to help those in need. Those of us who may be poor, living on a small pension or something like that, could you know how much we love you? How much love and honor there is, how much respect there is. And we say, may you be blessed all that you need to live comfortably and happily. May everyone on this planet be so blessed to have food, to have shelter and clothing, medical care. May you be so blessed. Just come back, focus on our hearts. And just notice your experience. Notice your feet on the ground. We want to be fully grounded. We want to be clothed in light and love, walking with our feet on the ground. And let's just set that intention. Would it be okay for us to be clothed with light and love? Feet firmly on the ground, practical, chopping wood and carrying water. All the things that need to be done get done. All the time in the background we live in this realm of love and light. And I just say yes to that. And so take your time to come out of meditation. Maybe move around a little bit. Sometimes people rub their faces or their hands, whatever they need to do to give yourself time to come out. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Be very gentle with yourself. If you come out too quickly, times you end up with some roughness. So be gentle with yourself. And thank you all very much for joining me in this meditation. And so we're going to slowly transition to the second part of this class, which is the working one-on-one, these sort of healing sessions. So if anyone has, first of all, it could be a gain to share, or if something got stirred up in the meditation, or if there's something going on in your life, some ailment or something like that, just unmute yourself, say hello.
Hi, Stephen. It's Daniel.
Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing good. My left limb isn't doing as well. I'd like your assistance. A lot of soreness in a lot of the joints. Right now, the biggest issue is there's like a real tightness where like the left side of the neck meets the shoulder.
Okay, good. So everyone else, find some ailment, okay? Find some ailment and do the same work with yourself. What happens is the person who speaks up brings us all there to a deeper level. So this is your left side, Daniel, is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for weeks. Like I thought I had carpal tunnel. It was in the wrist, and I kept on working with it. Um, and now it's like up into the shoulder and really the left side of the neck for the last, during this whole class. Um, I
Is
did,
a great way to.
sorry, I don't know who that is, but I did a lot of work with when you were bringing in right energy from the heart and then letting it disperse. That seemed to help a little bit, but I think there's something underneath all this. I don't really know what's going on. I've never had something like this that feels
So
nerve related.
good. So Daniel, do you notice, or how do you feel about all this? Are you happy about it or unhappy?
It's becoming a pain in the neck.
There you go. Okay. The language is reflecting our reality. So
Yes.
does not liking this pain in your neck and your arm and your carpal tunnel, does not liking it make it go away?
No.
It doesn't, does it? Would you be willing to try another approach here?
Sure.
Yeah. So instead of resisting it and pushing it away and fighting it, would it be okay with you if you just accepted it for a moment?
Yes.
Yeah. Could you let go of disapproving of this pain in your neck and your arm?
Yeah.
Yeah. All this disapproval energy is its own distortion of your own personal energies. Okay? It's a wound. Would it be okay with you if you let go of that some more?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And even still more.
Yes.
Yes. Now, what do you notice when you let go of that disapproval?
I feel more present with the sensation.
Nice. Nice. So, can you acknowledge that you just made a step towards being more present with it?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it okay with you if you're even more fully present with it?
Sure.
Yeah. And even more fully present with it.
Yes.
Yes. And more fully present with it.
Yes.
And as you do that, does the pain intensify or does it decrease?
It doesn't feel like pain. It just feels like there's a little bit of warmth and a little bit of strength, but it's dispersing. It's becoming less like it felt like somebody tuned the guitar too tight, and now it's feeling like it's
Nice.
opening up.
Would it be okay with you if your neck and left arm were completely attuned to the wholeness of your body?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Could you allow that even more?
Yeah.
Okay. And just while you're doing this, could you breathe in from the left side into your arm and then exhale out the right side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just sort of keep doing that while we just sort of play with that because usually when there's a blockage on the left side somewhere in the body, it means we're not receiving something. Okay. So that can be, we're resisting something that we don't want to hear, something we don't want to pull into our life. Is there anything like that going on into your life that you don't like right now?
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, I'm a little disturbed by my family.
Yeah. So that being disturbed by your family, does that feeling of disturbance bring you closer to your family?
No,
It doesn't, does it? That feeling of disturbance, does that help you in any way?
no.
And would it be okay with you if we explored another relationship with your family?
Okay.
Another pattern, right? Right now, the pattern is they do something and you feel disturbed, right?
Right.
So would it be okay with you if you looked at your family, whatever they're doing, and is what they're doing, I mean, are they doing it out of love or are
No,
they doing it out of their own pain?
I would say they're doing it out of their own habits and programming. Yeah.
Yeah. So could you, well, you have a choice here. You could judge them, which is a disturbing quality, or you could love them. Which one do you think is going to feel better for you?
It's a pretty easy choice.
Easy choice, right? So is it okay with you if you welcome up any sense of judging and allow that to shift into compassion? Here they are, victims of their own programming, victims of their own upbringing, their own culture, and they haven't been able to shake those patterns, right?
Right.
So, do you want to blame them for that, or would you rather have compassion for that?
I forgive.
Forgive. And do you notice that when you forgive, you sort of like let it go, and suddenly you move into a state of deeper quietness?
I noticed a shift.
Yeah, yeah. And everyone else check that out. When you forgive someone, when you let go of judging them, there's always this like, almost like a sigh, like, ah, as we seek into it. Notice that quality again, if you don't mind, Daniel. How would it be for you if that momentary sinking in was a doorway to the inner dimension of your heart? That'd be
Sounds
okay.
good.
That
Yeah.
sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's how it starts. And just for fun, I'll say this for everyone, because I'm thinking a lot about the sunrise analogy I was talking about with the equal breath and the nostrils. Have you ever been out, at a sunset and suddenly you felt that quietness?
Yes.
So do you notice that quietness is virtually the same as the quietness that you felt when you forgave your family?
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about this universal experience that almost everyone has had. And my experience is, and all the great teachers will tell you this is the very small, simple, open door into the inner dimension of the heart. So could you look at your family again that's been disturbing and go a little deeper in your forgiveness of them?
Yeah. I mean, literally, I saw in how you guided me that it's time to let them in rather than, push them away. That's
Yes.
sort of what's been going on.
Nice, perfect. Let me try just one more thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So sitting deeply within your heart, could you just open up your left ear and ask what it is that your family would like to say to you? Everyone else, people you consider your problem people, your enemies, or whatever, just open up and give them an opportunity to speak to you. Only after you've forgiven them, by the way. So, what happens with that, Daniel?
I'm more at peace with, it's the same kind of noise, which was why I wanted to shut it down. But
Okay,
it's just noise. They're not trying to hurt me.
they're not trying to hurt you,
They're not trying to hurt me. They're just speaking.
they're just speaking.
Not very consciously, but I don't mind. It's all good. They can express what's inside of them. And
Nice. So perfect. You're in good space with your family. Is it okay with you if you acknowledge your left arm is going through some stuff and just you're just going to be easy with it and allow it to be what it is until it heals itself?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. And the more you can breathe in through your left arm and out, the faster that healing will go. Okay?
Okay.
So you just that's the work to do. And what's going to happen is it's your body telling you this is something off, it looks like it's your family, and that you need to do receive it. So could you thank your arm for volunteering to be that painful part of you to get your attention?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the team. It's not betraying you. It's part of the team. Okay?
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great. Thank you, Stephen. Really helped.
Good. Thanks very much for speaking up, Daniel.
My pleasure.
Okay. Jean, I see you unmuted yourself. Did you want to speak also?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, for some gains, my son-in-law is always crabby when I'm around, and lately he hasn't been crabby. So I thought, oh, this is interesting. So he's been very nice. And let's see. And the daughter who loves to argue, yes, like her mother, and fighting Irish. And her argument, she was upset with me about something that was not quite right. What she thought it was. Anyways, she didn't argue with me to the end like she normally would. It was cut short and not as much anger, so which was a huge gain in my opinion. And I know it'll get better yet. And I would like to work on something.
Okay.
I think before the class, it brought up some old memories. And memories, just old memories. And my brothers were always targeted and bullied and beaten up by boys in the neighborhood elsewhere. And the boys were up to 5 years older. And for some reason, a couple weeks ago, it just started coming up, this whole memory. And it makes me angry and maybe some guilt and some shame on the whole issue, even though I had nothing to do with it. And I'm not there when their brothers are playing with other guys. So.
Good. Let's work with that.
Okay.
Everyone else, go back into your childhood. Find something that made you angry. Something or someone. Childhood is such a rich period for us. So, Jean, can you go back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pull up a picture. Maybe your brother's coming beaten up one day. And what feelings come up in you?
Such sadness. Such
sadness.
sadness.
So, could you welcome up that sadness?
Yes.
And could you give yourself some love and approval for feeling that sadness?
Yes.
Yeah. Which would you rather do? Feel nothing or feel sadness?
Feel sadness.
It's actually part of this vast smorgasbord of feelings that we really want to have in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So could you look at your brothers
Mm-hmm.
and allow them to be kids growing up?
Okay.
Allow them to be kids growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not pretty when you're a kid growing up.
No. Mm-mm.
It's just not pretty. And believe me, I feel it. This is touching me a lot also. I'm feeling your same energy. So could you let go of wanting to control how your brothers grow up?
Yes.
Yeah. Does wanting to control the lives that your brothers have give you control over them?
No.
Doesn't. So it's a losing strategy, this wanting to control, wanting to fix. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
can you recognize that it's a nice, kind impulse, right?
Right.
So could you give yourself some love and approval for having that impulse?
Yes.
Yes. And could you allow the deep wisdom of your heart to see that that's the wrong, that's an inappropriate response, a not useful response at the time, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Just not doing it. So would it be okay with you if you let go of wanting to control some more?
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody else, whatever you want to control in your lives, how effective are you from that wanting to control? What happens is when you want to control, you're really putting out the message that you lack control.
Hmm.
Okay. So would it be okay with you if you moved into a place where you gave yourself control?
Yes.
Yes. And you have control over your own reactions, don't you?
Yes.
Over your own energy.
Yes.
Yes. So how are your brothers doing today?
They're both dead.
They're both dead. How
Yeah.
were their lives? Were they troubled lives or were they happy
Very
enough
much so.
lives?
Very troubled.
Troubled.
Yes.
Okay.
They had horrible. I just wonder, had an impact on their. One lived till 22, and the other one lived till um, maybe 3 years ago. So
Okay.
maybe 60. And he was always troubled.
Always
Always,
trouble.
always.
Yeah.
Always had a chip on his shoulder.
Yes. So there you are. You're the older sister. Is that right?
Pardon?
The older sister?
Yep.
Okay. There you are, the older sister wanting to protect and make everything nice for them.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay with you, while honoring that wonderful feeling, that you also recognize that every soul comes forth to evolve in their own way?
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We want to be respecting of that soul's choice.
It's hard to witness.
Hard to witness that, isn't it?
Yes.
And yet, here's a world full of inhumanity, right? And we see it everywhere. We saw it in the poverty, you know, wherever we go, you see it in Syria, the civil wars, all this sort of a thing. Wherever we go, there it is. And is it okay with you if you expand your heart enough to where you can be at peace, giving it love and approval as the most effective strategy for changing it?
Yes.
Yes. So could you let go of wanting to control how your brothers evolve through life?
Oh, that's a tough one.
And how effective is it for you to want to control them?
Not at all.
It doesn't change your lives, does it?
No.
All it does is leave you frustrated and beating yourself up,
It leaves me wanting to have done more.
wanting to have done more. That's beating yourself up. I should have done better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks like it's a kind sentiment, but really it's part of yourself beating yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Would it be okay with you if you let go of that beating yourself up?
Yes.
Yes. And you were 10, 15 years old. I don't know how old you were, but
No,
they're a
only a couple of years older.
couple years
1 year
older.
older than one brother, and the other one maybe.
I mean, about how old you were when this was going on?
Um. Hmm. And when I became aware of it, maybe 12.
12. So you're, yeah, say 10, 10, 12, 15 years old,
Yeah,
and you're beating yourself up because you couldn't stop it.
right.
Did the beating yourself up stop it? All that telling yourself you should be doing more, did that stop what happened to your brothers?
I guess I just want to be safe.
You just want to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you allow, you want them to be safe and you want yourself to be safe?
Yes.
Yes. So could you welcome up that lack of feeling, that lack of safety feeling that you have?
Yeah.
And welcome it up some more.
Yes.
And everyone else, wherever you're unsafe in your life, welcome that feeling up. And could you allow yourself to just be with it
Yes.
and just recognize that it's a part of you trying to protect you? And could you just allow it to transform into safety?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And you know how sometimes you give yourself love and approval? Could
Yes.
you also give yourself safety?
Yes.
Yes, because you're the boss here, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Just patterns of energy, and you're bigger than they are.
Yes.
So which would you rather do? Feel unsafe or feel safe?
Feel safe.
Yes. And we don't do it by suppressing the unsafe feelings. We welcome them up and know that your heart will just transform them. That's why we let go of wanting to be safe so we can be safe. That's what's really the mechanism. The mechanism there is the heart that's transforming. So could you allow yourself to be even safer still?
Yes.
Yes. And even safer still.
Yes.
And the very deep part of your brothers, that the body of light and love that they are at the very deepest level, is that safe?
Yes.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you allow them to be safe at that level?
Yes.
So the trauma your brothers experienced
Mm-hmm.
was just on the surface of this great spiritual beings that they were.
Yeah.
Okay? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another brother's popping up on this issue.
Okay. So pull him into the same picture, the same mechanism. All we're doing is we're looking for a subtle shift of your perception. Yeah. Feel those feelings. Let them come up. Be grief. Let the grief come up.
And he's dead also, and he's the youngest in the family.
Yeah. So this is a very Irish family with its stories of grief.
Yes. Yes.
My wife is Irish, so Irish American.
Well, yeah, 4 and 4, 4 boys, 4 girls. So
So could you just allow them to show up in front of you
mm-hmm.
as great spiritual beings,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that, we say we all pick our parents, knowing that they pick this life for their own spiritual evolution.
Uh,
Okay? And could you let go? And let me just ask you, do you really want to be responsible for the details of their spiritual evolution?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It sounds like a lot of work, and it's not going to work anyway, right? So could you respect them for the lives they chose and the deep wisdom that caused them to choose those lives?
Yeah.
Yes. And could you allow that to shift your perception of a sister that didn't do enough to a sister who honors and loves her brothers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a nice picture. More peaceful, isn't it?
Yes.
And is it okay with you if you use your brothers to move into peace?
Yes.
So whenever you find yourself beating yourself up for not having done more, or wishing they would have had a better life, or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
okay with you if you go, oh, they are here to teach me that now's the time to move into peace.
I think some anger is coming up. Is that at times the one brother who lived the longer, that I wanted to help him at times, and he just didn't want to hear of it. So I'm probably beating myself up on that.
Probably. And so is it okay for a brother to want to live his own life?
Yeah,
It is, isn't
it's
it?
hard to see,
It's hard to
especially when I
see.
know I can help.
Yeah, I know. We know we can help and they're not open to it. For
Right.
whatever reason, could we allow them to pursue their own spiritual progress
Yes.
in their own way?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Let go of wanting to control his life.
Yes.
Yes. And you have more influence on your brothers
Mm-hmm.
by trying to control or by loving them.
Mm-hmm.
You have more influence by loving them, don't you?
Right.
Yes. So is it okay with you if this pattern that you have of wanting to control just heals itself,
Yes.
dissolves and fades away?
Yes.
So what's happening really is you have I'll just throw it out here and maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't, but we all do this. We have a wound, something uncomfortable within ourselves. We see it in our environment. We try and fix it out there, and it doesn't heal us. It gives us a brief bit of resolution, like, oh, I did some good here.
Mm.
But the wound is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So this deep wound of wanting to control, could you explore that a little bit more? Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes. Okay.
So could you welcome up this feeling of wanting to control,
Mm-hmm.
and could you just dive into it?
Yes.
Dive into it even more.
Mm-hmm.
And dive into it even more.
Yes.
And as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into this wanting, this lacking control feeling, really it's a wound of your heart. As you go deeper and deeper and deeper, what do you find underneath it?
It seems like a stone.
Good, good. So
Stone.
could you feel that stone and could you just bathe that stone in the love of your heart?
Yes.
Yes. Bathe that stone in the love of your heart some more. And even still more. And ask that stone if it's okay for it to be healed and transformed. It may say yes or it may say not yet.
I said turn to gold.
Turn to gold.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. You know what I'm reminded of in Isaiah, God tells Isaiah, I will remove your stone of heart and give you a heart of flesh. That's just what you've done here. Okay?
It's funny when I said stone, I did think of a heart made of stone or something along those lines, and it
Yeah.
did come to me.
So that's why it came to me too, I think. So is it okay with you if you walk forward with a new heart,
Yes.
flesh of love, a golden heart? Yes. Now, that's a nice smile on your face, by the way. Very nice smile. So could you greet your brothers, this new golden heart? Still a lot of energy there, isn't there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And could you be okay that there's still a lot of energy there?
Yes.
And can you see that as you keep working with this energy, this golden heart will just keep getting bigger and bigger?
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's there, could you just pull into your heart, bathe it in the energy of your love,
Yes.
watch that golden heart get bigger and bigger. Yeah. And could you thank your brothers for presenting this energy to you so you can see and find this stone in your heart?
Oh my God. I guess I didn't realize what's there.
Yeah. No. And they brought it to you, didn't they?
Yes, they did. No question about it.
Yeah. So could you recognize them in their own way as being extraordinary spiritual teachers to you?
Yes.
Yes. And can you see how that shifts your perception of them?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess they're looking after me, except the other way around.
Yes. Yes. So they are looking after you. Whew. Could you allow that care and love from them into your heart?
Yes.
That they loved their sister, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes. So could you allow this to be a relationship of love?
Yes.
And from both sides, growing more and more into your hearts,
Yes.
helping each other, teaching each other. How does that feel?
Much better. Much better.
Much better. So there's still a great opportunity there for you.
Yeah.
Because, you have a lifetime of these energies. And is it okay if it becomes a habit of you to transform it into love?
Transform it into what? Love, yes.
All that energy, when the energy about your brothers comes up, go, oh, here it is. I can do it again. They're there to help you. They're there because they love you. And all those memories are there because they love you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Take that home.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jean. Whew. I'm honestly just so grateful when people bring stuff up because it takes everybody in so deep. So, my friends, remember there's no class on the weekends. So we'll meet again next Monday. And God bless us all. Let me think here. So unmute if you want to, but we're just going to take a moment and say goodbye. God bless us, and see you on Monday. Thanks so much.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
much.
Linda.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah.